What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate all of you hanging out, waiting for the stream to start. For those catching the replay, though, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. When we do these live chats, you can take part right along with us. So, been a lot of travel back and forth Louisiana going on for the last 2 weeks. Those of you that didn't know and want to get in the know, had my bodybuilding competition the previous weekend. I was in Louisiana for that for a few days, and then on Thursday through Sunday, I was in Louisiana. We celebrated my uncle's 50th birthday, watched the fights with some friends, just a bunch of random stuff. So haven't been live streaming a whole lot, but we're back. So what are we talking about today? The new Tony Iommi Deified. So this was sent to me by the good folks at Twisted Lily. They were doing a launch on July 1st, and they reached out and asked, hey, would you like to take part? Absolutely. I love Xerjoff. I don't care which Xerjoff. Yes, you want me to check out a new fragrance from them? You want to send it my way? Sure. Count me in. I wasn't a huge Tony Iommi Monkey Special guy, which is blasphemy for you, a lot of you. I just thought it was nice, but didn't compel me to need a bottle. Some of you are like, what? Right now? Yeah. Teach their own. You know, I wasn't compelled. Like, I need this. I believe this is supposed to be a leather fragrance. I haven't looked at the notes. I don't know. That's what I've heard about it. I think leather. So naturally, I'm immediately intrigued. I like my leather accords. So we'll bust this open in a little bit. It's completely sealed. I haven't even looked at the box yet. So we'll put that back for the time being. As far as my scent of the day, Pacific from Rayhan Fragrances. Fruity, playful, pink bubblegum, bubblicious, bubble yum kind of smell. Aquatic. Very Invictus Aqua, but even more youthful would be the way I would describe this one specifically. It's nice. I like it. It's special. No, definitely not. Far from special. Generic, redundant. You probably have something that smells like it. You don't need it. But if you don't have an Invictus Aqua bubblegum type fragrance, pretty good one. Again, not special. You probably have something that smells like it. If you have First Instinct Together, any of the Invictus Aqua versions, Halloween Man Hero, just Hollister Wave 2, just the list goes on and on and on. Anything that smells like Invictus Aqua 2016, 2018, or 2024 falls in the realm of this. Even Hawass, for example, Hawass Ice, even though they're not exactly the same, very similar. Nitro Red, Watermelon Invictus. You see where I'm going? The list goes on and on. It's solid. It's just not special. Let's get caught up on this chat, shall we? Because there's a lot to get caught up on. We got 85 people already. Hit that thumbs up on the way in. It helps. I appreciate it. Turn that off. Got a video running on my phone. And let's see who's doing what. What's going on, man? Polo 67. I got 2 other fragrances because of your reviews. Keep doing your thing, big dog. I sure will. I'm glad my recommendations work out for you, my man. Cheers to you. Some Monster's Sour Watermelon Warhead. Nice and tasty. For those of you as far as that care about my fitness journey and all that, we are full on into off-season animal mode. Since I'm able to eat carbs, I'm carb cycling. Decided to hold off on my coach switch with John. Going to wait till November when we start getting ready for prep for the next 2 contests. Just kind of got my own little carb cycle in place. Lower carb days below maintenance. Got 2 days where I'm slightly above maintenance and then 1 really high carb day where I'm, taking in a surplus of like 700 or 800 calories, just doing kind of a lean bulk. And I am, for lack of a better term, a fucking savage in the gym right now because I have been so depleted for so long in the gym. I am just destroying the weights right now. My strength is back and full on. So yay me. The gym has been super fun the last week and a half, especially after the first few days when I started ramping up the carbs more. It's been incredible. Blue Chanel aftershave. I put in the decant because I preferred over all the others. Hey, man, I wear and use my Dior Sauvage aftershave splash more than every other Dior Sauvage I have. So I'm with you. Iconic Blue from Armoff. Great choice. Good to see you, sir. English Laundry London. Smelling like kind of Blackberry Aventus, if you will. Boss Bottle Elixir for Giancarlo. Jumpman 23 up high. What's going on, big dog? Monkey Special is a masterpiece of a fragrance. That's what I'm saying. Some people will be surprised to know I'm not really a big fan of it, Kyler, always a pleasure, sir. Let them know. Nautica Voyage always works. Never a bad time for Nautica Voyage. Cosmic Pepper, that's a great choice. Kaylin, good to see you, sir. Evil Angel by Lorenz Pizzaglia, my second favorite out the sample set I got. Chopard's Agile Imperial Never tried it. Kyler, 9 a.m. Dog's a good one, though. Roy, good to see you, sir. This is indeed the best smelling chat on YouTube. No doubt. That is a fact, sir. Apex Parfum, and there you go, adding to why it's the best smelling chat. Just ordered 120 ml 4-ounce bottles of Zahara Black Rose and Signature Pour Homme. I'll be the best smelling guy in my neighborhood. I think you already are. That'll just kind of add to it for sure. Dan, not the man, wearing French Riviera. One of my favorites from Mancera. Arguably my favorite at this point. Smooth Operator, good to see you, sir, wearing Meteor. Opinion on low 7 Cobalt. I need a bottle. I've smelled it once. Randy sent me a decant. It's right here. It's literally right here. Let me sniff it a little bit because I only smelled it once. It's a very blue fragrance, kind of powdery, woodsy. I forgot what it reminded me of in the dry down because Randy was thinking maybe a little bit of business over pleasure. And at first, sure, I got a little bit of business over pleasure. But in the dry down, there was something really distinctive that reminded me of. I remember when I sniffed it, I was like, I need a bottle of this at some point. So I need to revisit it. We're very specific with what we're doing here today, so I'm not going to spray this. But I would encourage you getting a sample, though, and trying it for yourself. Good to see you, sir. Disumano by Morph. I've never heard of it. John C., good to see you, sir. Miss San Martin, Into the Wild. All right. Let's see, skipping down. Ultramar from Bois 1920 for Joel. Sactactus Voyage, how are you, sir? Wearing Burberry Touch, a timeless everyday wear fragrance that at this point I think less people wear. There was a time when it was highly worn in like the late 2000s, early 2000 teens. It was super, super popular. So I think you're at a point to where you're one of the few and the proud that are rocking it now. So enjoy that shit, man. Skip down a little bit because I know I'm very, very behind in these comments. I want to try to get caught up. We're 7 minutes in, 120 people so far. Hit that thumbs up on your way in if you don't mind. Those of you just getting here, I'm sure you saw it in the title. We've got the new Tony Iommi Deified, supposedly a leather fragrance. We're going to be checking out here in just a moment. Speaking of Randy, there he is. What's going on, my man? Wearing Ambassador. Amen Phantasm this evening. So I'll be able to experience Phantasm shortly. Randy literally sent a package of decants to me today. About an hour ago, he sent me tracking, maybe less than an hour ago. He texted me tracking, and I'll be able to check it out. But Ambassador, he's who sent me a carded sample, and I tried it for the first time, and I had to have a bottle. I swear by that fragrance. I'm a huge fan of that. Hey, man, rock what you want to rock. I wore Pure XS, and it felt like 104 degrees with the humidity on Friday. So who cares, you know? If it works for you, it works for you. Just because certain things are more ideal and less ideal for certain seasons and situations doesn't mean there aren't exceptions where you can pull that shit off. Sounds like that man's pulling that shit off to me. So let's get down a little bit. Juan Ochoa, good to see, sir. Wave Musk, highly underrated from Mancera. Two worlds collide. A salty, breezy, aquatic meets a grassy green citrus fragrance. It's like the tale of two fragrances coming together. Hold on, guys. So the wife is out the house, so Farrah's fussing at the door. All right, baby, I'll let you. Come on. I got to close the door when your mom goes. What? Bear with me, guys. Hold on. Duty calls. Here you go, baby. Jerky. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. When the queen wants something, you give the queen something. My baby's blind and diabetic and on the very tail end of her years. When she wants something, daddy gives her whatever the hell she wants. So that's my baby right there. I'm sure y'all heard that pathetic yelp at the door. So hooked her up with one of her favorite jerky treats. And the door's open. She might come in here. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah, when one of us isn't home, like I was in Louisiana, they stayed behind because two weekends in a row taking trips for her would have been a lot. Like travel for her is a bitch because obviously they came with me for my competition, but they didn't come with me to Louisiana for the second trip. She was all distraught because in the mornings I have my eggs, ground beef, spinach. I have the same meal to start the day and end the day. and she has an Eggland's Best scrambled egg. My dog has her own 18-pack of Eggland's Best eggs. She has a scrambled egg in the morning and scrambled egg at night. And she was distraught to not eat it right here by my desk because she's just like I'm routined. I guess I'm like a dog because my dog is extremely routine. So she was very distraught. So enough about my dog. Sorry about that, guys. All you dog people don't mind it, though. Dog people love to talk dogs. Draining to walk outside. It's like when I got in the car to go to the gym earlier, it said 101 on the dash. It's super hot here today. And it's always 10 degrees hotter here than it is in Louisiana. Fort Lauderdale feels like 102. Yeah, it was over 100 here today as well. Good to see you, Will. What right here is nice? What are you talking about? Don't forget that thumbs up. Spencer, good to see you, sir. La Capitale from Xerjoff. Kicks Griffey, my man. Latafa Atlas. I'm talking about that one a good bit here lately. Kicks Griffey approved FWO Wolfpack for life. Try to get to this bottom. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, guys. So I want to get to the bottom. Jason, I see you popped in. Patrick, I see all of you guys as I'm slowly kind of panning through to get to the bottom because we need to jump into this. You know what I mean? So skipping on down. I apologize, guys. Batmain, 199 Super Track. Jordan Nike trying to bankrupt us, Ross, 24 and 20. First time I see you chat, but man, you hit the right comment. My man. They're making 2025 even crazier than 2024 has been so far. I'm sure you saw those Tekken 8 foams that got announced about an hour ago. And, I mean, we just keep getting retro OG Jordan after retro OG Jordan. And, like, even some of the new stuff, like the Lucky Shorts 3s and these Blueberry 12s that are coming out in December, like some of these, like, non-OG colorways are just serious heat, like, man, you were preaching to the choir. I appreciate the super chat. That donation goes to the Shoe and Fragrance Fund. There you go. Of the 70% of that YouTube lets me keep. I appreciate that. Motel just got a bottle from Canada Day sale. My package came in. I got my wife Flower Bomb Tiger Lily, which she's been wanting. I got her 50 ml of that, which was still like a little over 100 Canadian. But when they stocked it, I was like, well, she's been wanting that. So I grabbed that for her. I grabbed Boss de Scent Le Parfum finally. It's like, why not? It's one of the two that I'm missing from the line. What else did I grab? They had that tester bottle of Polar Red EDT for like 30-something bucks. I was like, yeah, what the hell? I still got plenty in my decant, but let me grab a bottle, add that to the collection. There's one other thing I forgot. I got to do a video on them. Rick, what's going on, my man? Caron le soir pour un. Okay, pour un homme de Caron le soir. Their names are always so extremely French. Their fragrances are phenomenal. The two that I've tried with Justin, extremely masculine, beautiful fragrances. I'm trying to remember which one. The one that starts with a Y, the name of that fragrance. I tried that one with Justin in one of our blind smelling rates. I don't remember which other one. There was two that he had me try 2 different times when we were in Chicago. Good to see you, sir. Boss Bottled Absolute. Great year round. I agree. All right, so almost to the bottom. We're going to go ahead and get started. Skipping down. So I'm so sorry, guys. I feel bad skipping around like this. But I got to do what I got to do. Wow, I was super far behind. Holy shit. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Flower Bomb Ruby Orchid comes in a few days. All right, 10-4. So let's dive into this. Tony Iommi Deified. I was about to say Monkey Special. Like I said, it's supposed to be a leather fragrance. This time around, have that similar front, but the back side is purples and reds as far as the color scheme this time around. I know this bottle's black and studded versus the silver studded bottle of Monkey Special. And look, just because they sent it to me, you guys know me. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. And if it falls in between, I'm going to tell you why I feel it falls in between. So, because I don't give a shit. Most fragrance is good, though. That's why I don't shit on too much, because not that much deserves to be shit on. Let's be honest here. If you're looking for negative people, this ain't the channel. So, here we go. Nice box. Too bad I don't really... Whoa. Booklet went flying. I'm making sure that wasn't the bottle. You know, I typically don't keep these things. It's a shame because they're actually quite nice. Quite nice. I mean, it's their standard stuff, but just with special graphics. Tap to connect. So I'm guessing it connects to your phone. There's some kind of shit to do with that. That's kind of weird. I think that's a bit extra. A little too extra, if you will. Now I got this adhesive to get off, but let's look at this bottle. So not studded, just has skulls in the print for the glass. So you can see the skulls going all the way around. Blacked out Xerjoff plate, Iommi Deified. See that adhesive on there? I'm going to get that off. Definitely going to be a fingerprint magnet. Batch code, 50 ml. Blacked out cap. Hold well into place, as Xerjoff does. I love these bottles, especially the 50 mLs. They hold really well. Do 2 sprays. What the hell? Smells like a slightly rosy type of leather. Very leather forward. On the animalic side. Ooh, okay. It's a little powdery. It's got a little bit of funk to it. But I don't think it's challenging. Now, this is more me than Monkey Special was. Okay, now we're talking. It does smell like there's a little bit of rose. And I mean just a little bit hanging out, like the leather is draped on top of the rose. Piece of leather. This is more of like a black leather accord. Like black leather jacket, like a brand new black leather jacket. Not anything worn in, like brand new, still hanging. Hasn't even been put on yet. A little bit of a fruity tone to it. This is a banger. That was a great idea to put that shit in the thumbnail. This is a banger. Yeah, for all of you that like Monkey Special, you're going to want to try this one too. Which I would assume if you love Monkey Special, you were already planning on trying this anyway. It's heavy, but I wouldn't say it's completely excluded from like a summer evening. I think in the right setting, obviously in climate control, indoors, the right setting, this will work. Because it depends on the theme in the setting of where you're going. Because if it's somewhere kind of casual, maybe not the best choice. But a semi-formal outing, and I don't necessarily mean a suit and tie completely, and it doesn't have to be black tie, but the type of setting where it's a bit of a social event, but not a very casual social event, like maybe banquet-ish, higher profile dinners, not just, double date kind of stuff. Something along those lines where you're dressed to impress, not necessarily a suit though, remember, because you can be styling and profiling without a suit. Something along those lines where you want a fragrance that's very impressive to match what you feel is a very impressive ensemble and attire that you're rocking with. This is definitely a cherry on top type of fragrance for that kind of stuff. Son of a bitch, this is great. They're on to something here. It's not like, if you're used to designer fragrances, sure, there's a challenge here. But if you've dipped your toe into anything niche, if you'd explore any of the leather accords, earthier fragrances, more oriental resinous type fragrances, rich, deep florals, if you've explored any of that stuff to this point beyond what Macy's has to offer, that's who I say this isn't much of a challenge for. But if you're used to the designer stuff, typically, might be a little much. This is not a safe play for you. You definitely need to sample first. But there's a lot of you that are watching this live right now that are going to blind buy this shit. You're going to skip the sample. I know you guys. I know my live chat. I know my regulars. Y'all are going to blind buy this. And I think you've done worse. I still would advise sampling. You can get a sample in the link below. You can save 10%. They have samples in stock right now. I think they're like $7. Let me check real quick. Sample. Play it safe. Just because I'm saying these things doesn't mean you're going to love it. $6. $6 freaking dollars. The bottle's $3.05. You see what I'm saying right now? So, yeah, 50 ml for $3.05. So shit's pricey. Would I have this if they didn't send it to me? No. I'm be real with you guys. Hell no. You know how often it is I buy something for $3.05? I would sample it first. Now, would I buy it once I sample it? There's a strong possibility. That's the thing. It's impressive like that. But I would totally sample first. Not blind buy safe at all. $6. I think it's probably 2 ml. We'll read the notes in just a moment. Let me pull that away. It's impressive. I think it. Let me go to the bottle. We're going to go ahead and read the notes. Screw it. I want to know. So I know there's leather here. So step into the parallel universe where mystery possesses the mind in a dark and decadent experience that casts subliminal shadows on the wearer. Look, does it have a little bit of a gothic feel? Sure, but I wouldn't sit here and call it a gothic type of fragrance. But there's that type of nuance to it. The essence of it is definitely there. The second chapter of the almighty collaboration between the greatest riff master of all time, Black Sabbath legendary guitarist and rock composer Tony Iommi, and Xerjoff's esteemed founder, Sergio Momo. A combination of forces that play on the, how do you say that word? Palindromic nature of sound, scent, and sensorial, I was about to screw that word up, sequences. It's a tongue twister, sensorial sequence. Sound, scent, sensorial. It's a tongue twister. Damn them. Tony Iommi Deified Parfum is the new Xerjoff Blends venture that presents Deified perfume with a soon-to-come soundtrack and music video. Okay, so they're playing it up here. Created on a duality of leather and spice, Deified plays in a loop with no beginning and no end, accompanying the wearer with an omnipresent aura. Authentic and warm accents of saffron. It's probably really contributing to this leather. Because it's a little spicy, but I wouldn't call it something crazy spiced. But it's warm and leathery. That is for sure. Meet powdery and leathery facets that dance into the delicate touch of gourmand freshness. Cinnamon exalts spicier notes complemented by a gentle rose. So there's some rose in here. I'm not crazy. And the fruitiness I was getting is apparently apple. Woody base of papyrus and patchouli leaves the senses longing for a more rhythmic exchange of back and forth. Saffron, cinnamon, apple, rose leather, papyrus, patchouli, moss, musk. So I got plenty of rose leather apple in the opening. You would think it's crazy spicy because saffron and cinnamon's in the top. And there is a nice dose of spice here. I would call it a leather spice, more so than or spicy leather. I would say leathery spice is the way I would olfactively profile this. The floral component's not overdone. It's not super rosy. If you're not a fan of heavy floral fragrances, have no fear unless it just jumps out on your skin or you have this thing of perceiving floral notes better than others. I don't think you have too much concern here. It's a subdued rose that is present, but not overdone. It's not the focal point of this fragrance. The leather, the apple, the spices, the patchouli and moss, I would say, giving this slight earthiness without being too dark and too dirty, but there is a darker element to this, hence that kind of slight gothic element and essence I was speaking on. This is extremely well composed. This is must sample, especially if you like Monkey Special. If you were already a fan of the previous collaboration, this is a must try for you. If you haven't tried Monkey Special, that doesn't mean you shouldn't try this one still because they are not the same fragrance. They have a similar aura. It's composed by the same people, comes from the same minds. They're kind of walking a similar path with the story they want to tell, but it's like a new stage to the story, a new chapter, if you will. This is 9 out of 10 type of stuff here, guys. This is an outstanding fragrance. This is absolutely a sample first. Again, I go back. Would I have just bought this blindly for 305? Absolutely not. Under no circumstances would you find me doing that. Now, after sampling it and getting to walk through the path just early on with this one, we're not deep dry now. We're not full wearing experience. I can't make that decision until I've spent more time with it on would I still buy it after sampling it. First sniff, no. That's too small of a sample size for what we're doing right here and now in this moment. Too small of a sample size for me to say sure I would or sure I wouldn't. So I'm going to have to get back to you guys on that. And I'll be honest with you, I might still say no, absolutely not. Even though it's good, I still wouldn't do it. Or I might be, you know what, I just have to have it. Because certain fragrances, that does happen. It's on the upper end of what I'm willing to spend on one bottle. It's definitely at that peak. But it is pretty freaking impressive. It doesn't remind me of another leather fragrance. That's what's really leaning me towards like the wow factor here. Like it's got it. It's there. It's impressive to me. This is for leather fragrance lovers. If you are kind of indifferent about leather, or maybe it's not your favorite thing, you might not like this fragrance. There's a real possibility you won't, because it's very leather forward. It's a robust, thicker type of leather. Again, it's like a piece of black leather, like a black leather jacket draped over roses, is the initial blast of this fragrance. A little bit of musk is starting to come in. It's kind of cleaning up a little bit, lightening up, if you will. It's not as heavy as it was in the initial blast. 9 out of 10. Yeah, this is outstanding. This is an outstanding release. This is a must sample, not a must buy. You have to sample it first and spend some time with it, as do I. I could not put a must buy on this under any circumstances, no matter how good it is, because it's so pricey. You have to sample this one. You have to experience it. You have to spend a little time and get to know it. At least this is my thoughts. Do whatever you want. If you want to drop 305 right now, go ahead with your bad self. Use my link. Let a brother catch a commission. You know, if you're going to get wild like that, hook me up, you know, but I'm not encouraging that, because I wouldn't do that personally. I would go after these samples for $6. You get 10%, you get 60 cents off on top of that. They have, I think, if you sign up for emails, you can save 15% instead of the 10% code that I have. So go that route, you know, if you haven't signed up for their newsletter, I'm sure is how you go about doing that. Actually, let's look real quick. I'll show you guys. Yep, that's exactly what it is. You're going to sign up for the newsletter, and that's more than with the discount code. My code's 10%. That's 15. That's a one-time use thing. If you've never done it before, I would encourage doing that. Save yourself another 5%. So let's get caught up on this chat. I'm curious on if any of you have tried this already, and do you feel similar to what I feel about this? Because this is easily one of the 5 best releases this year. Not for this season, though. It's kind of strange that they released it in the middle of summer, because this is so not a summer fragrance. Again, like I said earlier, there's definitely some situations where it can be worn currently, but it's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal. Only certain few and far between situations, personally, do I think this would be able to be pulled off properly right now. I think once the weather cools down a little bit, the days are shorter, the sun's going down sooner, this is going to be something serious for some people. So leather forward, so smooth, yet animalic and spiced, but smooth. Xerjoff's quality, you know, chef's kiss type of stuff. All right, let's get caught up on this shit. Yatagan. That was it. Yeah, that one, Rick. That one. That's the one I tried. Aqua Allegoria for pennies. And that's anything Guerlain for pennies is great, honestly. We pick up Round Tradition 1312. They got that orange one I haven't tried yet in the Insurrection line I want to get. You know, Jason, I hate to say I don't believe you, but I don't believe you. We'll see. I lurk and pop in on the Sips and Sniffs live chats here and there. Let's see how strong you can be, my man. Willpower. How much do you have? Because us fragrance lovers, we don't have a whole lot when it comes to fragrances. Something comes out and we're like, ooh, especially if you try it, then you're like, damn it, I really like this. I want to add it to my collection. You start hunting the bottle down. Yeah, I like this one much better than Monkey Special. The bottle is sexy. Hell, the Monkey Special bottle was really nice. Fragrance coming out called See My Love. I like the name. I definitely like the name. First and 3 seconds, and I feel like it should have been 4 first place finishes. I think I had Bo beat personally, as was most of the feedback that I got outside of even my family, just others that I talked to. But hey, the judge's decision is final. I got first in True Novice, second in Masters Over 35, second in Open A, second in Novice A. It was 2 of us in True Novice, 3 of us in Masters Over 35, 5 of us and 6 of us in Novice A and Open A. I took first, second. Classic Physique was the division, which I might be moving. I'm going to get the legs and turn them into tree trunks. And my waist can only get so small. I don't really have a Classic Physique waist. It's all about making that X. And my waist can only get so small. and I have a very wide back for my frame. My lat spreads very wide. I might just go ahead and widen out a little bit more and thicken up the quads and hamstrings and move up to bodybuilding A class because I'm of my height and weight. Might be doing that. We'll see, because I'm going to pack on some mass without going overboard with calories. I'm going to stay, I'm like 11% body fat right now. I'm going to stay under 13 is the plan. Stay pretty lean and slowly build. And we're going to start early, still building a little bit before we start cutting down. First week in November is the plan with my new coach. And I got a show in Panhandle Showdown in Pensacola in April. And then 3 weeks later, the Riptide Classic here in Panama City Beach in May, literally 3 weeks apart. I'll be doing both of those shows. And I'm either doing classic physique and bodybuilding, or I'll probably do both. Why not do both? But it's $150 a pop. So if I'm doing 3 and 3, that's, it's $900 if I do 3 classes in each. So I might do, plus my NPC card is $150. So $1,050 if I do that for one show, because I would do 3 classes for men's bodybuilding, 3 classes for men's classic physique. Probably going to, though. You don't put all this time in to not do your thing. So thank you for asking. I know a lot of you don't want to hear this, but I live it. I live bodybuilding these days. So nobody's never work. That's why I said that. It never works. For me, it's better. Like Monkey Special didn't compel me to want a bottle. After that, you're shutting it down? How are you, Enrique? Just ordered CR Puerto Rico. That's one of the release. That's my number 2 release of the year right now. This rivals up. This is, I guess, easily number 3, because Seraphine Blue and Puerto Rico are just so fresh and perfect for my weather, perfect for my climate, perfect for what the aura and the theme and scenery of where I live, and my personal taste, because I'm very casual day in and day out, that those would stay ranked over this one, whereas this is a very situational fragrance, but it's just so impressive. It's probably my number 3 release of the year. It's that good. It's that good to me. Deified makes sense. Consider there's that extra I, because I was wondering why they have that extra I. It's DEIFIED. I had a feeling it had an interesting way to. So Deified. I'll roll with that. Thank you for letting me know, Randy. Why would you feel just because it has a black bottle? Nice back double bicep. Definitely does not smell like Bentley for Men Intense. As far as Varvatos 20, that's way more fruity and playful than this. That's far from that. Far from Varvatos 20. But Bentley for Men Intense, I mean, a little because of the leather, but that's still a boozy fragrance and bay leaf, and like it's still not the same. Like I would say maybe 20-30% similarity because of the leather, but even the leather is very different. Like if you would think that Bentley for Men Intense would be a nice alternative for this, you'd be disappointed. Would be the way I would look at it. Bishop is definitely in the house. Yeah, the black bottle's really, really clean on this, and I do like the skulls in here. That's a nice touch. I do like that. It looks badass. It's cool looking, and the silver really pops on this jet black look. It's a good looking bottle, really is. From a different discounter, eDiscount Perfumes. That's a great eBay seller. I bought a lot of things from them over the years. Let's get down a little bit. Yeah, I know you got those issues with Rose. His wife's got an allergy thing with Rose. So Randy's got to tread lightly when it comes to Rose. So let's see. Let me skip down a little bit. Our new batch of Absolute's way stronger because it's been being discontinued. Okay. No, Deified, which, see, I'm already getting it right. Not really. Not at all, because it's not loaded with orientals. Even though there's spices here, it doesn't have that oriental feel. It's not a resinous fragrance. That's kind of what I typically tie into the Middle Eastern style. Like there's elements here that you would typically find in that, but it's also missing key elements that I would think would give it that feel. It's mainly a heavy leather forward fragrance with supporting players, supporting cast members is how you can look at it, because it's all about the leather. That has not changed. If anything, the saffron's intensifying that because it's very saffron forward. It's a little ambery, and that I'm sure that's at this point, it's a little ambery. I'm sure that's the saffron, because the saffron can do many things. It can be metallic. It can be hot and spicy. It can be leathery. It can be ambery. Depends on the oil and what it's blended with. And this is coming across a bit spicy and ambery, and I'm sure it's helping to intensify this leather accord. Because I don't know what oils were used to create the leather accord, because that's all a leather accord is. It's a created accord. There is no leather note. There's no leather oil. They don't make a fragrance oil out of cow skin. They put notes together, other oils together, and blend into. That's why you can get so many different leather accords. Babe, you mind closing the door? Farrah was fussing, so I had to open it because I'm live. Wife just got home. Sounds like she picked up some packages. That's always good. Guess she didn't hear me. One moment, I'm going to close the door. Had the door open because Farrah was fussing. You okay? Packages. Yep, she's definitely got some packages. It's always good. She got some packages. Well, I blind buy like crazy. I mean, so do I. Just because this got sent to me does not mean I don't blind buy like crazy. I do it constantly. Talking about the blind buy bandit. I know you guys blind buy a lot. Look, I get it. I'm a bad influence. I don't encourage you don't be like me. Be better than me. I blind buy so you don't have to. You know my motto. All right. Where were we? What's 239 November? That's exactly what I'm saying. It's very much a leather fragrance with a nice supporting player of more so saffron and cinnamon, hit of rose and apple early. Still get a touch of rose. It's not much, but it is there. I do smell it. The apple's faded already. I don't really get much fruitiness here. And there's a light earthy tone. I don't know if it's the patchouli, if it's the moss, if it's both. There's a little bit of this earthiness. It's really nice. It's got an elegance to it. It's definitely impactful. If you like leather, it's one of the more impressive leathers I've smelled. It's definitely something I strongly encourage dropping the $6 on a sample for. The bottle's beautiful. It is indeed. It's collection bling. This is definitely some collection bling. This is probably easily the nicest Xerjoff bottle I have now, as far as the look of it. Said of the day, why I sell myself. Hell yeah, good to see you, sir. What's going on, Montrese? All right, let me skip down a little bit. Finally got to smell Xerjoff. Scent of the day, 8 samples. Signature Pour Homme, Noir, Seraphine Blue, Royale, Royale X, Tobacco, Leather Tobacco, and Citrine. Yes, I smell like a masculine mess of Z. Well, I hope you're enjoying it. That's quite the layering sillage that I wouldn't want, because that's a ton of different scent profiles. But hey, as long as you're having a good time, that's all that matters, right? Let them know. A lot of women seem to hate this one. Be careful. Really? Fortunately, there's only one woman on the planet that I give a fuck what she thinks about a fragrance. Only one. She just walked in. Outside of her, I don't care. I wear them for me. I wear them for me. Now, if it's something that she just does not like, because I'm going to let her smell it and see what she thinks. I do have some that I love. I always go back to Amouage Overture, man. It hurts my heart. She hates that. She literally hates that fragrance. I can't wear it around her. Very rare I get to wear it. But unless she doesn't like it, I'm wearing them for me, because I won't do that to her, because I respect. I'm not saying I don't respect others, but not like I respect my wife. You know what I mean? My wife or any other woman, what do you think the answer is going to be? Fuck them. You know what I mean? So again, and you're not single, so I don't know why you care. I know you're not single. Respect others, sure, but at a certain point, it's, oh, you don't like my fragrance? That's unfortunate. Maybe you shouldn't stand next to me. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to run home and take a shower because you don't like my fragrance. My apologies. Maybe don't stand so close to me. right? That's fair, right? Unique Luxury Beverly Hills exclusive. Never tried that. No. Can't compare this to any. Don't name a single designer fragrance, guys. Not even Dior Homme Parfum, because it is not that. It's much higher quality than every designer you're going to name. Please don't ask about it. Does it smell like a designer? Because it does not. It is not the same type of leather accord. This is much higher quality oils, especially with it being a collaboration fragrance. You know they didn't spare any expense on the quality of materials they went with here, and it smells as such. It smells of luxury. Yeah, you can't even, like, it's insulting to that fragrance to say Womo Intense, even though Womo Intense is great, but the quality is night and day. Night and day difference here. Yeah, buddy. Let's see. Welcome to Ross's chat. Half the FWO for Life Tag Team Wrestling Champions. There you go. Shout outs to my man, Dedrick. Cool Water Wave feels like 109. Holy shit. Need that Cool Water feeling. Hey, Cool Water Wave's good stuff, man. Don't let nobody knock that one. Hey, performance is not great. Just refresh. I answered that for you already. I guess I'm pretty far behind. Let's see, skipping down. I believe Jason's Nobody's Summer as much as I believe when I tell myself the same thing, which is not at all. Exactly my point is I love Jason, but look, come on now. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. You have any new coach? I'm sure they have something new coming. It's been a little while, but I haven't heard anything. Go dark after the opening. It stays dark from the start. It's on the heavier end. That's what I'm saying. Right now, it's weird that they released it in July 1st. With, like, I don't know if it came out anywhere else before Twisted Lily, but it's basically a summer release because Twisted Lily launched it for July 1st. It's not a summer fragrance. It's very few situations and settings in the evenings indoors where I would say this is ideal to pull this one off. It's definitely going to be cooler weather, still evenings. I still don't see this as a daytime wear no matter the situation. Really, I mean, there are exceptions, but still just my take. I think ideally it's going to be evening no matter what time of year. It's very evening forward because it's a darker, heavier fragrance. Well, they do have the new version that I heard is a little different. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Kara, good to see you. I saw your comment earlier. I was scrolling through quick. I didn't have time to respond. Dan, what's going on, my man? Bois de Vetiver. Bois de Yuzu is great. Probably something along the lines of anything that smells of this family, which would be Nico Sculpture, Montal Wood and Spices, Parfums de Marley, Altair, however you want to say it. Stuff along those lines. Very orange blossom forward, or something like Kajal Om, the original. Very orange blossom and oud tonka bean forward. Surprisingly versatile. Actually works in the heat for oud fragrance. That's actually really nice. I would encourage check if you want a different orange blossom head forward fragrance. Kajal Om, the original Kajal Om. They have 4. Just the one called Kajal Om. That one. Slightly above average, 6 to 8 hours longevity. On the way, embrace one with pear and coconut. 15% even during the summer. I still look lean at 15%. Staying at 13 drains me just a bit too much. So that's why I'm carb cycling. That way I can still kind of recomp a bit. Because look, I could pack on a lot more muscle if I just would go in a heavier deficit, but I put on a lot more body fat too. I don't want to lose all of my vascularity. I don't want to lose my abs because my abs aren't as visible as they were, but my abs are still there. You know what I mean? And they're not going, I'm not losing those. I worked too hard to get those visible. Obliques at the top and everything. Like everything's still, I'm still pretty lean. And I want to stay that way. And I was advised by my new coach, stay 13% or less. He said, we're going to really get you peeled for the next go round. Let's have less to get off so we can have let's really work some magic with the next cut for the next 2 shows. So, which the coach I'm switching to, I've seen him every day. He's watching my transformation day in and day out. I see him every day. That's who I worked on my posing with, all that good stuff. So I switched off from Lacey because I'm going to be doing things local, and I can do this in person and have John to train with because I train by myself. I can have John to train with in the gym. Lacey was great. I gave her flowers. I was with the Queen of Louisiana. She's Coach of the Year 3 years running in Louisiana. I was with the best. And for those of you that, I don't know if you saw the side-by-side, 2 days before I started the cut, when I was bulking heavy, I was just a bloated mess. And then 2 days after the show, looked like two totally different people. That is due to Lacey. I definitely gave her flowers, and I went ahead and separated from her, and I'm holding off on going with John. I'm just kind of doing my own thing right now, because I don't desperately need a coach to build muscle and work on my weak points and stuff like that. I don't need a coach right now. It's when it's time to cut. It's best to have a good coach in place when it's time to prep. Bond number 9, Wall Street. She is definitely a coconut girl. She loves her coconut fragrances. Eros EDP. You know, dodging Nodos. Smelling good. NATOs. Oh, wait. NATOs. Are you trying to talk about the storm, but it sounds ridiculous the way you're putting it? Because I'm trying to figure out what's comical about this, because I know you're trying to be funny, and I just don't find it funny. NATOs? Maybe I look like a fool. I don't know, because I don't get it. I'm assuming you're talking about the storm. And if that is, it wasn't funny to me, obviously, and maybe I just look like a dumbass. I don't know. Maybe you're laughing at me. Long as you're happy. I don't know. Still trying to get my hands on Red Fever by Aaron Terrence Hughes. Good afternoon, Scott. How are you? Seraphine Blue. Great choice. Great choice. I'll definitely wear it at some point this week. I wear it every week. Gonna have to rewind and watch what I missed. Well, we talked about Tony Iommi Deified, newest release, very leather forward, outstanding 9 out of 10 stuff. Super situational though, terrible for this time of year. Not a good choice this time of year. Very much sample worthy though. That leather accord is just staying at the forefront. You gotta like leather here, guys, to like this one. That is a double type. That was the perfect answer and response. I was hoping you said that. What thing about what he said earlier? Because he happened to type it again so I could reference it. About that? Because it does not compare at all to any designer leathers. Like I said, it's one thing when it's Xerjoff standard releases. They're going to use high-quality oils. But a collaboration fragrance, any of you sneakerheads, when it comes to collaboration sneakers, the material quality always goes up. They're always using premium shit for those collabs. Same thing with fragrances. When there's a collaboration involved and it's not a standard house release, there's always much less expense spared. And that's clearly the case here. This is some high quality smelling stuff. Jack, good to see you. I mean, you have to try rosé. Rosé and black rose are must-tries in this situation. I think the showstoppers come first. Leather tobacco, rosé, black rose, both the leathers, both the roses. I think those 4 you have to sample. Because if you're looking for a wedding fragrance, that's the 4 that's at the top of the list for me. Signature Pour Home's a strong choice here too. So if I'm picking 5, it's those. Both the roses, both the tobaccos, and the original Signature Pour Home. I would say get those 5 samples. Try those. Whatever my girl hates overspray. Jay's always saying some stupid shit. Like, Jay don't even say nothing that's not stupid shit on my channel anymore. Like, you guys should see some replies he gives. Like, shout outs to John, Captain and Coke. He replies to Captain. He's like, he said something about, you got me sick and ruined my 20s. I hate you, or something like that. Like, Jay's always saying some dumb shit in my comments these days. Like, I don't think I've seen a regular ass, hey man, what's going on? Great video today. I don't think I've seen anything like that from Jay in 6 months at this point. Jay's always saying some stupid shit, having him a good old time. That's why I love Jay. Jay don't get, he's at the point where he just don't give a fuck in my comment section. I love it. Eucalyptus, damask rose, fig, and cashmere. No, it's different fragrance. You're going to need to scroll back. We're not re-reviewing. That was about a 15-minute segment. We're not re-reviewing. Scroll, grab where, like right below here. You're going to click that little circle when it highlights on the bar and grab it and scroll back. That's what you're going to need to do. People don't shower seem to care that they stink to people around them, Why should wearing spectacular fragrances be any worse? Wear and enjoy. Again, if you're wearing it for yourself and you're not chasing compliments, now look, you don't want to smell off-putting to someone. That's not cool to hear if somebody doesn't like the fragrance. But are you going to run home or be like, oh my God, does somebody have a baby wipe? Can I rub this off? No. Don't be weak. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe we should get a bit more distance between us. You know, it's unfortunate that you don't like the fragrance. Personally, I love it. I thought it was a great choice to wear out here this evening. I'm sorry to hear that. Something like that would be my answer, because I ain't hurrying up and taking my fragrance off. I'm not scrambling to make one person happy. If I'm happy and my significant other's happy, that's the only two opinions I actually care about, my own and my wife's. Outside of that, that's the two people I'm trying to please, myself and my wife. Outside of that, I'm not really looking to people please. It's a bonus if they like the fragrance. And it's unfortunate if someone doesn't. But it's not the end of the world. They'll survive, and everybody will get through it just fine, you know. Creed Himalaya, extremely underrated, is a great way to look at it. Dedrick bought himself that for his birthday. It's funny that you say that. That's a beautiful musk. That gets zero love from the House of Creed. Zero. Wow, it is hot as hell in Baltimore. Wearing Aventus, great choice. Juan, what's going on, my man? Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate you. We were giving a lot of Fat Boy fragrance love in the chat the other day when we were sniffing Birds of Paradise, which I ended up buying a bottle of. And then we got that Invictus Aqua 2024 right here. I sure appreciate you, man. I hope we were able to get some traffic on over to the website. I sure appreciate the generosity. Anybody not subscribed to Fat Boy Fragrances, you know, he likes to call me the second hardest working man in fragrance and take the title for himself. And you know what? I ain't mad at it. Juan works hard too. Neither one of us are better than the other. That's my guy too. Go check out Fat Boy Fragrance. And if you're looking for decants, it's a great place. His motto is the customer's always right. Even when you're wrong, you're still right, over at fatboyfragrance.com. So good to see you, Juan. Hope you like that. I did that just for you, my man. Just for you. Armani code EDP. Thought that it did. So Armani's been like re-releasing stuff. They got a new version, Eau de Parfum Profondo, that's slightly fresher than the old one. New version, Acqua di Gio Parfum, even though they just released it last year, they did a new version this year that's more incense. Acqua di Gio EDP came out like 2 or 3 years ago. They already re-released that as, again, like Armani's just doing that. They re-released the Eau de Toilette. They re-released the Eau de Parfum. From what I hear, it's a bit different because I have the older gold cap Eau de Parfum that's only like a 3-year-old fragrance. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing it. Now I have Don't Stand So Close to Me by the Police stuck in my head. You rat bastard. You rat bastard. There you go. Let's see. Everybody showing Juan some love in the chat. Deified and Gambit were similar in my opinion. Ooh, I'll have to compare side by side. Gambit? That makes sense. I could see where you're coming from. It's been a little bit since I smelled it, but as soon as you say it, that definitely rings a bell. Yeah, I could see where you're coming from. I'm going to have to do a side by side and see just how close. Comes in tomorrow. Celerios Oros. Do you get some Creed Aralfa from Nitro Pour Homme? Not really. From Nitro Pour Homme, speaking of orange blossom fragrances, even though they don't list it, Nitro Pour Homme, the brown bottle, I find kind of falls somewhat into that family in Nico's Sculpture, Montal Wood and Spices, like that profile. Not exactly the same. There's more citruses in there, but it kind of gives me a similar profile, I find. Golden Sun, actually, the next day. I'm actually loving Gucci Guilty Elixir as an orange blossom forward fragrance. A bit too hot for me right now, but once it cools down, just a bit going to wear it heavy. Hell yeah. Nerd says in the house wearing Montal Intense Pepper. That's one I've kind of been putting off getting for a while. I'd like to get that one. Greg, good to see you, sir. Mercedes-Benz Cologne, flexing on people with that beautiful citrus fragrance. Let's see, skip down a little bit. Evan, good to see you, sir. Congrats on the show. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Kajal Summer High Heat Fragrance. They don't have a whole lot. It'd be Kajal Homme 3, something like that. I haven't tried the new one. The new one's supposedly pretty fresh. Icane, something like that. I haven't tried it yet. Lamar Caviar is very fresh, but even that, I would still rather Kajal Homme 3 because it's just so citrusy. That lemonade accord and grapefruit and everything. It's just so juicy. It's the Tigar profile, but juicier. That's the difference I find. It's very juicy. I think Masa can be pulled off pretty well in the high heat. It's a very freshwater aquatic green with some woods. I think that one works really well. And believe it or not, the original Xerjoff Ohm, even though it's tonka bean and orange blossom and oud with mandarin orange, it's powdery and everything from the tonka bean. I've worn that in high heat when I was specifically when I was working at Jaguar Land Rover, Houston heat, in and out, hot as hell. I rocked that several times to work in the Houston heat. Works fine. So even though it may not look like it works in the heat, Xerjoff Ohm, the original one, surprisingly works great in the heat with moderate spraying too. We're talking 5, 6, 7 sprays. Nothing super light because I'm worried about the tonka bean and the oud. It's not real funky of oud. Skip down a little bit. Royal Angel Allure by Mirror Image, must have. I have to look into that one. I've never tried. I've never even heard of that one. Mirror Image. I'm assuming Clone House. Royal Angle Allure. What's it similar to? Or because I'm thinking Allure Home Sport with the name Allure in there, but I could be wrong. Let me give me a little more. Give me a little more, Juan. You got me very curious. Collab on Sneaker 101 top material. I agree. Yeah, every time, man. Every time. It's the J's, New Balance, any Adidas. It's always premium shit when they're doing collabs. The same thing goes with collaboration fragrances. Anytime there's high profile collaborations, they don't spare expense because they're going to charge a premium because there's now royalties involved with another person that's going to want their cut. So there's going to be a higher price tag and they're going to want to work with the best stuff they can work with. They're going to want to bring something special. So all those things, it's going to cost more, but you're going to get an extremely premium product in these collaborations. That's how collabs always go. Not always, but I would say 99% of the time. Collaborations across the board, regardless of the genre and product, are always bringing you something premium for your money. So it definitely applies here. I've never tried that one. I haven't tried it. I would assume that's in the Womo line, the gold bottle. Is that one with Lenote and Silver Essence? I haven't tried the gold bottle. I'm assuming that's the one you're talking about. Tornadoes. Okay, so he was speaking Spanish on me. I'm assuming that's Spanish. Tornadoes. Oh, so he was just cutting it short. Okay, my bad. NATOs. He just wasn't saying tornadoes. Like saying legit instead of legitimate, or throwing mid out there. Something along those lines. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I believe it. I believe it, Jay. One day we're probably going to hang at some point, my man. You never know. Damn, it smells good in the chat. Nazar Fragrances, Royal Paradise. Love the name. I've heard great things about the brand. Men's Hair Holidays. Beautiful sunscreen fragrance. So we're almost to an hour. We'll be shutting it down here in just a few minutes. Thought I was the hardest working man in Fragcom. I spent several minutes a week making content. I know, and it's banger content every fucking time, Rick. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If you calculate all your appearances on other streams and stuff, like I know you're on, because I popped in Juan's stream last night. I saw you on screen, as well as all the times you're on Joey's stream. I mean, if you count up all your live stream minutes as well, you're up there. You're up there, man. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise, Rick. You're a fucking gem. You're a fucking gem. Rick's shit's entertaining. I don't care what anybody says. I watch every video Rick puts out. It's hilarious. Because he don't put out a ton of content. He can call himself the hardest working man. How about let's say must watch content? You take that, Rick. Must watch content. Xerjoff Ohm 3 and Ferris. Ferris does work. That's a good point because it's basically like high quality Sauvage. It's the most simple way to look at it. It's like a niche Sauvage in many ways. It definitely works in the summer. You're absolutely right. Rolf is a masterpiece. I mean, a lot of creeds are really, really good, man. People want to give them shit, but they're really good. Missoni Port Home. I got 3 compliments today. Night CK1 Summer 2021. All the CK1 Summers are good, man. Mirror Image is Matt Lusk fragrance. He does hybrids. I definitely like the hybrids. You know who's hard to beat with hybrids, though? Michael Densmore. That man kills it with hybrids. Just got 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. in. I hope you enjoy them. Speaking of people that kill it, Mike the Trickster, who I did go to my P.O. box today, and I didn't drop off the member packages. That's still going to be Wednesday because, my God, when I turned into that parking lot, y'all should have seen the line hanging out the door for people that needed service. So I just went to my P.O. box, grabbed my packages, and left. But point being, that man sent me the Bunny body oil, which I cannot wait to try. It's a pure oil of day 3 fragrances, Bunny. That's the reason I bring this up. I am so excited. Got a bottle of this in Portugal. Love it. Oh, you're talking about Deified, as I understand is the proper way to say it. This is a top 3 release of the year. I think this is number 3 for me. I love leather. I very much love leather. It's so leather forward. It's so smooth. It's animalic, but smooth. Something about 200 ml Sauvage bottles just feels so good in hand. Yeah, I got the Sauvage Parfum 200 ml. Especially with that beautiful atomizer, right? Cavalli Gold bottle of the anniversary. It's powdery leather take on the OG, so I need to try it then. That sounds like something I'd very much enjoy. 9 a.m. is perfect in the heat. Congrats on your win. I never cheered so hard for someone I haven't met. Well, I appreciate that, Mike. I appreciate that, man. And like I said in the weekly rotation video, when I got back, when I showed the medals and kind of recapped everything and showed some photos. Anybody want to see not this past weekly rotation that came out today, but last week's? If you want to see some of the photos and the recap, there's a highlight video. My Instagram, my fitness Instagram is a good spot to go check some stuff. If you really want to go along the process and see comparisons and morning before prejudge, and which my abs were incredible for that. So proud of that. Definitely go check that stuff out if you guys are interested. But yeah, I'm not going to go grab the medals again. We wore them for the first live stream back. Kara said, I thought you were going to wear them. So I ended up wearing my medals. But point being, in that weekly rotation at the end, I said, mark my words, next year in April or May, if one of the 2 shows for sure, hopefully both, I will have an overall trophy, one of them big ass trophies. I will have an overall trophy. Maybe not in bodybuilding. It might have to be in classic physique because they're going against some monsters in overall for bodybuilding, for men's bodybuilding, because I'm going to move up and do both. I'm going to get a little bit bigger. But point being, mark my words. How often do I proclaim I'm going to do something and don't follow through with that shit? I'm all about my goals. Mark my words. Going to be a bunch of first place finishes and an overall trophy that I'm going to show you guys next year. I'm going to make that shit happen. I'm going to be like, damn, dude, you have gotten massive. Need to. Good to see you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't been doing them. I've been back and forth to Louisiana. I've had 2 trips to Louisiana in the last like 9 days. Multiple days for both trips. Nishani Ani on my forum after shower last night. 17 hours later, and it's still there. That's impressive. It's definitely impressive. Mike is indeed awesome. Met him at Sin Explorer. He loves fragrances. He'll talk shop with you. That he will. It was nice to have Mike on the channel. We're going to have to do that again soon. So let's see, skipping down. Hey, I actually made it to the bottom. Taking off the Phoenix. Good night, fam. Hit that like button. I appreciate you coming by, Mike. It was great to see Juan pop in for a little bit as well. I think this is a good stopping point. We're a little over an hour. Not quite going to do an hour and a half today. I actually made it to the bottom, so I'm going to jump on this opportunity while I have it. I appreciate you guys coming to spend a little time with me. I do strongly encourage getting the sample for $6. Don't blind buy this, guys. There's a chance you might hate it, you know? Even if you love leather fragrances, there's no guarantee you're going to love this leather fragrance. Don't just take my word for it. Buy a sample. Spend a little time with it. Get to know it a bit and see if it's worth $305 or whatever it ends up being at discounters at some point, which is still going to be very expensive. It's always going to be a very expensive 50 ml, but it is a very impressive leather forward 50 ml at the same time. So thank you, Twisted Lily, for sending this my way, because I'm able to experience it, and we will spend more time with it come the fall. It's going to get shelved. It is not ideal for right now, but later in the year. So moral of this story, like we always talk about when it comes to these fragrances, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, and if they fall in between, we discuss why. This was sometimes maybe good. Damn good, actually. So appreciate you guys coming hang out. Check out this week's weekly rotation video, which came out this morning, which is doing very poorly, surprisingly. I think it's because I released it so late in the day. It was like midday when I released it. It was a busy morning. But thank you guys for coming hang out. I will see you guys tomorrow. We're back to our regularly scheduled programs. We're going to have 4 live streams this week. Again, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll have live streams. And unless something happens, which it'd have to be something random, but expect 4 live streams counting this one this week, guys. We're back to normal for the most part. Catch you guys on the next one. Y'all have a good one.